Starting to record. Okay, so first of all, thank you all for coming. This webinar is about the US Japanese yen in the first place, and the yen generally, and USD, but also I will speak about the fundamental aspect, why it is very important into professional trading, and why the technical analysis is basically the just using in professional trading only for to trigger basically and to place a stop loss, but actually the reason always, and like 90% of the time in the professional trading is about the fundamental view. Again, maybe you don't know me, but I'm a professional analyst for more than 8 years. I'm official analyst at Forex for more than 5 years as well. I was also one of the analysts into the Forex Trading TV. I wrote also for the FX Trade and so on. So I want to share you my experience, and for example, we'll speak here about the Japanese yen. So anything basically in the Forex and in the stock and any financial market, there must be a reason for the effect. Okay, there must be a cause for every effect, right? The cause in any financial market is usually like 90% of the time driven by the fundamental aspect and intermarket fundamental view. Since we speak about the currency pairs, this is more about central banks, because the central banks are the key players in the FX world, okay, in the Forex. The central banks, the interest rate decisions, and all together with this, around this is what create the fundamental view on the currency pairs. Why I choose the US Japanese yen and why I bought at this point here, I bought basically two positions, 102.30, 102.35, 36 area. And let's start with the USD. The most recent comment from Yellen, it was a very, very, very positive for the dollar, very hawkish that the Yellen said that the strengthening of the rate hike increased. So we got a very, very, very clear sentence in the Yellen speech that that she's very, very confident, and that, you know, the hike rate in September is also very possible. Again, this comment basically caused the buyers, and this comment caused the buyers and bring the buyers on the market. Okay, it's not about technical analysis, it's not about technical view. I know that many of retail traders, many of the basically the retail traders in the retail sector, they think that price is going because of the technical view. It's totally wrong. Okay, so technical view is only used by the professionals to trigger properly the exact price and to know where their setup or position is wrong. That's it. But the main reason to even watch the chart, okay, to even pay attention on some currency pair, it must be a fundamental view. So there must be a certain fundamental conditions. There must be a good fundamental vibrations, let's call that, a good fundamental view before they even open the chart. Okay, so I worked like analyst for the one hedge fund trader, one big hedge fund trader, and all of this, which I'm telling you, is basically because of that experience worked with him. I worked for him about 1 year, and I learned a lot from him, and this was a very, very good experience for me, because back in few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, I thought that everything is basically on the chart. Yeah, so basically the reflection of the fundamental is on the chart, and that watching the chart you can basically see what's going on, you know, and watching the chart you can trade and, you know, and earn results if you practice enough technical that you can actually just watch technical and that's it. but in the reality is very, very opposite. Basically, the professionals, they don't watch the chart if they don't see the good financial, a good fundamental view. If we speak about a currency pair, we observing this is a USD Japanese yen currency pair. So let's observe the two fundamental views and two monetary policy at the moment. Okay, right now as we speak. So from one side we got the Yellen speech, and very hawkish speech there, very good sign that we may see the rate hike in near future, which caused a lot of professionals and some institutional traders and institutions to start to buy this currency pair after they got that signal from the Yellen, that good positive signal for the dollar. And that's why we got upward 230 pips, for example, in the US Japanese yen. So it's not about the trend line, it's not about the price respected swing low, it's not about anything technically. This is absolutely caused by fundamental view. Okay? Now, what we're doing right now with this, since we got this positive vibration, let's see what's the second. So as we know, okay, we know that USDs, we suppose this will be the strong, and we will see the strong USD because of this big sentence in the Yellen speech. Okay, but let's see, we need to find the second currency which will be the most attractive for us for trade, to create to actually use this benefit for the stronger dollar and to benefit as much as we can. So to use this full potential of this strong dollar. How we can use the full potential? To find the second currency pair which got divergence in the fundamental view. Okay? When I say divergence, I mean, okay, let's take a look, for example, euro. Euro is pretty much neutral. We need something big for the ECB to announce, or some big speech, or something big to happen. Euro is pretty much, for me, untradeable on the short-term perspective. Okay? So absolutely untradeable currency pair as long there is no clear signs of, for example, raising the key program, some big speech, you know. So something big need to happen that I pay attention on the euro. I'm not interested to even watch the euro current, any coloration with euro. Now we go to for example, Australian dollar. Let's say Australian dollar. If you see the economy of the Australian dollar, you will see basically that even they cut the rate a few months ago, that rate cut didn't affect as much they planned. So their currency basically is right now at the price where it was when they cut the rate. So it was a very low impact from the Australian central bank, and this due to that Australian central bank is not a big bank that can affect the exchange rate. Okay, it's not big like Federal Reserve, or it's not big like the British central bank, the Bank of England, or the Bank of Japan. But Australian banks, they doing as much they can. They cut the rate, but investors, and they don't have enough power to actually control their currency. Okay, that's the reason why Australian is basically going sideways right now. We got a cut rate in the past months, but right now price is exact same where it was. So not big special reaction from that. On the Australian, for example, I will wait the next rate cut and watch to sell after some rally potential in Australian dollar. But until that point, I will not even think about trading anything on the short-term perspective, since lack of institutional money there, in big potential sideways, and I don't want to trade these kind of markets. Now, I found the Japanese yen and like a very best currency to use and to see divergence in the monetary policy, because the Japanese yen in the past, if you go, let's go to the chart here. Okay, so you see this drop starting from July, basically July 20. The yen, we saw the strength in the Japanese yen. This strength on the Japanese yen, if you observe the fundamental view, is basically caused because of the other intermarket colorations. Basically, the big drop which happened here, it was caused by break exit. Okay, it's not caused by the strength of the yen or the some something happening in Japan or with central bank. It's caused by the break exit. Okay, so this was a fact of the other factors, not from the Japan. Okay, so once this finished, we saw that price cannot really go lower. Okay, price cannot go lower, which is clear sign that this is only a fact of the British of the break exit, and the Great Britain left the European Union. Okay, but this demand and the breakout also if you watch it technically, we got the breakout of the supply trend line. This confirmed also this. If you watch the chart patterns, there is some triangle here, but that doesn't matter. The key thing here is this sign of strength and the key strong speech from Yellen, okay, about the potential rate hike in September. Now, about the Japan, the Kuroda, okay, Kuroda, which is the key person in the Bank of Japan, Zakim, what are those triangle indicators on your chart? Yeah, this is all. It's about the diagonal triangle. So I placed for myself. I mean, it's just here. You go trend line. I drew for myself. Okay, here and here. So it's not indicator. It's drawn by manually. Anyway, the key principle here is the Japan key person from Bank of Japan, the Kuroda, said also that there is yeah, about that I will speak about that very, very soon, in a few minutes. Kuroda said also the last meeting, okay, he said that they are ready, and Bank of Japan is ready to do the further easing and to also to do to buy the assets and ETFs and so on, and on that way this means that this will weaken the Japanese yen. So, and he said also a few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, in his speech, that they have absolutely space for further easing also in September. And he also said in September, as like the Yellen wars, that we may see the hike rate. We got a higher possibility of the hike rate in the next month. Also potential in September rate hike. Anyway, all of this fundamentals. So we have divergence in the fundamentals. We have the strong dollar potential hike rate in the US, and we got the Kuroda, who is speaking on the previous 2 meetings that the Bank of Japan is ready for further easing, for further buying the assets, which will reflect basically by weakening the Japanese yen. So we have the divergence here. From one side, the potential weakening yen from Bank of Japan and potential strength of the dollar incoming for potential incoming rate hike in the US. So any of these two, if they happen, it will just go up, okay? Because if we see the rate hike in September, it's absolutely going up. If we see that rate will be postponed, let's say, and we will see the rate hike not in September, but Bank of Japan may do the further easing, okay, and for buying assets and in ETFs, then that will also can boost the Japanese yen dollar higher. So basically, this is a high probability short-term opportunity for the investors and for the traders as well. Now, since I'm a short-term trader and I trade by the sentiment of the short-term, for example, as long as the fundamental is still active like this, I will hold my position and add if I see the opportunity to add, okay, into this buying USD Japanese yen. But once I see that something changed, for example, we see the next week something, there is for example, some speech next week, and I see that there is not so confident speech like the before or something like that, that will be the first sign that I need to basically scale out my position or move stop loss according to the price action, and that way secure my profit, potential profit. So we have basically the fundamental aspect, which is a very key factor why I basically watched the US Japanese yen and why I opened this currency pair to observe. It's basically the fundamental picture suggesting me that this is the best currency pair at this moment. Also, USD Canadian dollar is also very fine, but we got a GDP in Canadian dollar. Also, I think to 1 or 2 days there is a GDP in Canadian dollar. So that can also bring something. The key news for this week will be the non-farm employment change in the US. But we got 3 days for that. I mean, it is Friday, so before that I will position myself, since I see the sentiment is very strong, so this news can only boost my position, or the worst case scenario will be if we see some negative numbers there and the employment change, the price will go and create some correction and do some climatic action, and then it will go higher. But till that, we will already be positioned we will be already on the buying side. Okay, that's about the fundamental view of these two currency pairs. Also, the USD Japanese yen, you can also see that dollar yen traders turn bullish on the options. So the option traders turn the bullish. This is the highest bullish since 6 months ago in a period. So the options trader, the put options increased a lot, after this news. So option trading together with this one and together with sentiment and the technical view of this currency pair, suggesting that higher price and to bet here on the higher price is a very high probability entry. Okay, there is nothing 100% sure the market, but this is the highest percentage you can have. Fundamental, so you have the sense what's going on, and you have the cause, and then you use a technical analysis to catch the potential effect of that cause. Okay, so here I have the fractals. I got a question about what's the arrows here from this one and these arrows here. These are called the fractals. Fractals are here for hundreds of years ago. It was used by also professional traders. It's nothing more than 5-bar structure. So this fractal will show up after, for example, you see the previous. I will zoom in so you can understand the fractal. Fractal explaining into real world is something like changing, representing some changing. Okay, so fractal here, it's called the up fractal up, and it's representing this bar got the highest high level, and the previous 2 bars got the lowest high, and from the right side also we got the lower highs. And once we see this 5-bar structure, where this in the middle is the highest one, this is called the up fractal. The opposite is the down fractal down. This bar got the lowest low, the previous 2 bars from left side got the lower low here, and these bars, okay, from the right side. So 5 bars here, you see the lower lows here and higher lows here, but this is the lowest low. So this is called fractal. It's a 5-bar structure. It's not too complicated at all. It's very easy basically. And the indicator will show up once this second bar finishes, or this bar when it finishes. Now, the Bill Williams spoke about fractal trading a lot in his education. And the Bill Williams is one very, very good educator. And this is just simply using the fractals to help us to find the entry. How we use the fractals? Basically, if you have fundamentals like this and you see the opportunity in the market, but again with big if. So if you trade only blindly every fractals and this type of technique, or any type of strategy, if you trade blindly without proper knowledge of the fundamental view, you will not create consistent success. I can assure you of this, that if you don't understand and if you don't base trade on the fundamentals and do the trigger entry only technically, then you will have a big problems to create a consistent result. Okay? Again, why is that? Because the fundamentals is what basically bring the liquidity on the market and what's bring the supply and demand or buyers and sellers on the market. Okay? But retail traders and most of the traders doing the opposite. They focus on the technical analysis and only watching one part, fundamental, or even don't watch fundamentals at all. This is a very wrong to base trade on technical aspect. Okay, that your main purpose of why are you in this position is the technical view. That's a very wrong. Okay, so here, for example, how we use the fractals, we got the up fractal here. Okay, the high of this fractal lead us to the level of 100, let's say 102.35. Once the price breaks even the one tick higher, this will be the buying opportunity. Okay, since we got the up fractal, the breakout of that up fractal bar, so breakout of that high, will be the buying opportunity with a stop loss at the swing low, or in this case at the down fractal, so below this down fractal. Okay, so this is entry based on this example of the fractals, but since I'm also volume analyst and I'm using a lot of volume analysis in my trading, and this below, it's called a better volume indicator, this volume is also taking the part. I mean, on the Forex, we don't have centralized market, and a lot of people say that you cannot watch like volume there, and their part, the part of that is true. There is no exchange, real exchange on the FX market. It's over the counter market, and there is no actually real volume here. But we got a tick volume, and tick volume is also representative a measure of volatility. Okay, it's not the same as like on the stock volume. Volume on the stock, it's an absolute number of the shares traded for a specific time of period you watch. But here we got the tick volume. Tick is absolutely every change in the price during the specific time period. It's called ticking. The numbers of the ticking, basically, it's represented in this volume type, the volume indicator on the Forex market, which is also good to have on the chart to see when liquidity going strong. Okay, so if we speak about volume aspect here, we got the demand on the news in the very ultra high volume. As you see, the color description here, I put here, we got the volume climax up, red one, and this is the red one. This is a spike up. Okay, so the tick volume showed a very big increasing in the buying side, and this increasing got a big sense because of that speech. It was caused by the speech. Absolutely, it was very clear. Okay, so we knew that some institutions, some banks, some investors, large investors, they started to buy this after this speech, and absolutely they will add positions. They will add positions as long the fundamental view remains the same. Okay, and that's also how I'm doing, and that's how why I wanted to let you know about this and that understand the principle here. So it's not too much about that technical analysis, because you used to probably, most of you here in the chat room used to trade and base trade according to the technical view. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Okay? Can you just write in the chat room how many of you base trade on the technical analysis? Okay? Just write if I'm right or not about this. That most of the traders in the retail sector base trade on the technical analysis. It doesn't matter which technical analysis you use, again, but they base trade on the technical analysis. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, you said it. I'm right. Yeah, and that's absolutely reality. You know, I'm speaking here very honest to you, since I work with a large fund managers. I work like assistant there. Okay, and I'm telling you how things are. Okay, and I mean, you can have the best strategy, and you think that this, you have a technical strategy. This is the best. You know, this is something is going blue. You know, and you think it's a buying or red signal, it's selling, or you see some triangles or patterns or whatever it is, okay, or you trade the butterflies, the gartles, or you know, everything you find on the internet, you know, in the books, and you trade that. And I will tell you this: it's all of this. These are all decent techniques. I mean, the patterns are okay. Um, you know, the Fibonacci ratios is okay also, and I'm using, and professionals also using Fibonacci. It's not a problem. Fractals as well, very useful, very useful into to have on the chart, you know. But all of this is okay only when you find a divergence in the different countries, which will actually represent the strong potential opportunity on the Forex market. Again, why choose the US Japanese yen? Because the Kuroda, the key person from the Central Bank of Japan, said 2 times that he planned, and the Bank of Japan have no problem to for further easing, you know, which represent the buying in assets and so on, which will represent the weaker Japanese yen if he do that. What he said that he have no problem to do. Then then we got from the Yellen speech that rate hike, we got stronger possibility, and he said that is also option for in September. So you have the divergence for one side, the potential weaker Japanese yen, from one side a stronger dollar. Betting on the buying the US Japanese yen dollar, and when to trigger only technically, you know, this is technical analysis is basically used only for triggering, okay, to position yourself. It's of course integral part, don't get me wrong. Without a technical view, it will be very hard, you know, to trigger position, even if you know that you have the two divergences in central banks, but you need to trigger that and benefit from that and position yourself properly, right? So, and then comes the technical view. Basically, what's going on in the Japanese yen, and the price went higher, and then we went into correction. Now, many of the retail traders, most of them, will wait to some larger correction. Will wait at least 38.2, 50 or 61.8 retracement to buy the US Japanese yen. Even they want to buy, they will wait some larger correction, and on that way they think, for example, if they wait the larger correction, they can put the lower stop loss, for example, below this one. That logic is fine, but you must follow what's going on in the market. You know, you cannot say blindly just I will wait 50, 61.8 retracement and that's it. It's important to see what price action will tell you. Okay, so price basically stop at 23 area, 23 area, and we saw the down fractal here. We already got up fractal, and which is basically the swing high at 102.35, 32. And once I saw the breakout today, okay, I started to buy this currency pair. The volume confirmed this. We got the high volume. You see this one increasing in the volume in the upward price, which is very good sign. This is a tick volume, but still it's a representative. We can use this like additional technical view. Okay, now let's speak about the potential targets and what I'm aiming on this currency pair. Okay, let's speak about this. Absolutely, I don't see any big resistance, before this. Let's go to the daily frame for a second. This area where the massive supply entered, this area where this supply actually reacted from this point, will be my short-term take profit level. What I will do is I will buy, as long the fundamental view remains the same, I will buy on some after the corrections. Okay, I will add into the position as long it's going good, as long there is no big fundamental change, I will add into the winning position. Okay, how I do this? I will wait, for example, another upward fractal, another swing high, and then wait for correction, and then buy again on the breakout. Okay, for example, if I see something like that, so if I have opportunity to add position, I will add position. If I don't have opportunity and the price section don't give you more opportunities to add, then I will just sit on this position. Okay. For example, what can happen? Just hypothetical, the price can spike up higher for some reason, and with not larger correction or something like that, just straight upward. Of course, it's expectable that we see the retracement in the while we are going upward, to see some retracement, so we can add into this. But again, on the Forex, you must be prepared for everything and expect everything. So again, I'm already, whatever happens, I secure my position. I know where is my stop loss, and when this idea, this short-term idea, basically will be wrong. And if the price go and breaks this low, for example, in this fractal low, this will be, I will close this into the loss. Again, it's important to have your stop loss levels. It's important to secure a position. So far, it's so good, and I'm in plus like 40 pips from where I bought today. Okay, and this is going good. Again, my final target on the short-term perspective, my final target is the area 106.70 or 107.35. Okay, if we speak about the fractals according to a daily time frame, which is also interesting, what I wanted to explain you is that we broke this fractal from just a second, it broke August 12th. August 12th fractal, we got this fractal very clearly after these 5 bars. We showed the fractal showed up here. Notice the fractal showed up after that massive drop of 100 something pips on your Japanese yen. We showed up the fractal low, but that fractal low never got. We didn't broke that fractal low. Okay. Anyway, the price is going upward, and notice here, I will just delete this one. Notice here that one up fractal showed up here. Now this news which came in basically broke up the fractal very cleanly and confirmed the strength. This fractal here is broken, and so far it's so good, it's going upward. Okay. So we also broke out this fractal, and we also broke this fractal. So we broke the fractals, but this was the most recent up fractal that price broke on that speech of Yellen. Okay, so even on the daily time frame, you got, and what is most important, basically, the most important, again, is fundamental. If it doesn't matter what you trade, you cannot blindly trade just because, for example, you broke some fractal. You must have the sense of fundamental view, and then the fractals will confirm 90% of that. Okay, if you have the fundamental good conditions, the fractals will give you opportunity, and the price section, the volume, will give you opportunity to establish your position on the market. Also, an interesting thing here, what is happening is here. This was a very nice entry, and I got I got this position. It was a very nice entry, and this was caused also on the news because sentiment at this point here was bearish. Okay, this bar was also on the news. Okay, and that news was in favor of stronger Japanese yen and weaker dollar at that time. It was July, I think it was July 21, yeah, July 21st July. The fractal showed up, so this bar got the highest high, but it's at the same point got the lowest low, since the next bar got the, you see, lower highs, lower high, okay? And this showed the fractal up and down in the same time, For this fractal to confirm, this indicator will show this fractal up and down once this bar is finished, the second bar right after this bar. Okay, once this bar finished, the fractal showed up here, up and down. This was a very rare situation when you have the two fractals on the same bar, basically. Now, if you trade it here, your entry will be one tick below. You can put a stop order, sell stop, and pending order. Okay, one tick below will confirm entry. Because you have fundamental view in your favor, this is a very, very valid entry, very strong entry. Okay, and you can decide where you want to place your stop loss. Basically, the whole logic is to place where you got the up fractal from the other side, which will be here. But if you want more aggressive stop loss, you will place above the swing high you created here. The most recent reaction, okay, the most recent resistance was here. Okay, so if you entered here, you place stop, this is aggressive stop loss, 130 pips. This is a more conservative stop loss. I mean, the larger stop loss, but it's also the safer. So if you prefer safer version, a safer setup, then you put all the way above. If you prefer to be a little more aggressive, you put where you find the decent swing high and put the ball. Okay. Now the price, if you put here, now you will hold your position as long as you see the sentiment basically changed. When the sentiment changed, that's the question. Okay, of course you can scale out your position whenever you want at any time, but if you want to wait the whole sentiment and fundamentals to change and close position, that will be the day Friday, because you got the opposite signal. You got opposite signal. The fractals, we broke up the fractals, and watch the key thing here, the fundamentals changed. You have a good comments from Kuroda for further easing. You have the good speech from Yellen about the potential hike rate and got even larger possibility for the rage hike. That's it. If you didn't exit anywhere at this point, you need to exit here. You got the point of that. Okay? So if you didn't exit, you need to exit here because of the changing in the fundamental view was absolutely right now in the favor of the USD comparing to Japanese yen, and you will watch for buying opportunity as long the fundamental view remains the same as like right now. Okay? Meanwhile, if you enter it here, the second opportunity to add position, this is what I'm speaking about, adding position, was here. One pip below, one tick below the next down fractal. Okay, or next down swing low. Look at this. Trigger here, stop loss should be, again, above the most recent swing high if you want, or conservative swing high, all above this, again, same thing. Now, you can put the stop loss here, for example, because this was a swing high before this fractal. Okay, so if you put here and you add to this position, you place stop loss here. And watch this. In the 2 days, in the 3 days, you're up 370 pips. If you waited enough, maximum you can profit is 420 pips. If you waited fundamental view to change, you also bring some profits here. So it doesn't matter how you, this is about a managing setup right now, but the point is, this was fundamental. Strong yen, the fundamental change from the Yellen speech and Kuroda speech last week. And right now I'm establishing buying position. Now you can watch and trade daily and trigger daily, this was basically also one potential adding into the position. Again, it didn't work a lot, but it worked 125 pips, basically to the 1-1 ratio, almost to the 1-1 ratio. And then the fundamental view, the speech came here, and before the speech we was at the pretty much same entry level where you entered if you traded this fractal in the daily, break out this fractal down. But since we got the speech, you need basically to exit. You don't want to be in position while there is a key speech from Yellen, which can affect a lot of market and change the fundamental view. Okay, basically, you don't need to wait the speech. You can exit before the critical speech, which was Friday last week. And on that way, you will absolutely have this position, for example, the break-even, but this position will be plus 330 pips, and this position will be plus about 500 pips. You see? But you must know the fundamental picture, and I have a mentorship program. I will not speak too much about that. I'm offering only a mentorship program for people who really want to start professional career. I speak about the professional career in the Forex business. So only if you want to start professional career, you have, for example, money and the time to spend to invest into Forex. Even if you want to start professional career, my advice, start my program where I will teach you and I will help you to create success, and we together basically create success. Okay, it's a 7 days course, my mentorship program, and I will basically teach you all you need and how you to watch the fundamental divergence between the central banks and how to position yourself, properly on the market. Now, I show you the example of the USD Japanese yen, right? So I show you that example. There is some also set up here. This fractal up was a nice entry here on the 1 pip above the high. This was a nice entry to catch this swing high of this bar. This was some buying opportunity here for 360-70 pips. It was a nice catch up there. Then this fractal showed up and good selling here because fundamental is still there is nothing big in US, not big speeches and something. And then Yellen said this, and that will potentially turn in the short midterm perspective. Definitely in the shorter perspective, this changed the view from previous bearish on the dollar to the bullish. Okay, and right now I spoke about the daily here, but of course you can use different frames and position yourself on the shorter perspective. So if I go to the 4-hour time frame where I established my position, this is a more short-term oriented position. It's not based on the daily fractal, it's based on the 4-hour fractal, while the daily fractal is still active because we broke this one here, this fractal here, and this is still active, and there is no, we need a 5 bars here to change that we see some down fractal, or so absolutely this is bullish. If you watch the 4-hour, I found a clear fractal here in the swing high. Price went to 23% retracements. Fibonacci fractal finished here. I put the 1 pip above. I added when the price, we'll just explain you, I added one more and increased the size here. Basically, I bought here, okay, bought here, and price went lower, created this up bar, okay, and I added one position, even better price, like 10 pips, and this is what I will hold in a short-term perspective, and of course add if I see opportunity to add further on this currency pair. Now, once you have this knowledge from the larger perspective to the fundamental view, you can basically trade whatever. You can do the short-term trades. For example, this was an entry according to 30 minutes time frame. This breakout, the fractal stop loss below. So now it's all about you. I mean, I'm short-term trader. I don't like to watch chart basically, all day and so on. I want to position myself and add on the larger frames like 4-hour daily and add into the winning position. And I don't want to be, this type of trader. But again, as like on my mentorship program, I'm teaching you to basically that you can trade once you know the larger fundamental view, once you know the short-term perspective picture, you can absolutely trade on the lower perspective. So you can trade the intraday perspective, for example. Clean example of that is once you know that you watch only for bullish because of the bullish background and fundamental view, you will avoid the down fractals. So you will, for example, this down fractal, you see the breakout of this down fractal here. So this is not entry because the fundamental view and the short-term view is bullish. Now, once you have the big clue that you will absolutely delete the selling options in this currency pair, now you can position yourself on intraday and, for example, buy here on this breakout, the fractal with the stop loss here, or buy once the fractals show up here, buy here with the stop loss here. Okay, this is for today, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. You got also this up fractal here, the breakout of this, but this was an Asia session, I guess. This was a one up fractal which we broke out on the Asia session. So this is, so for example, you buy here one tick above this fractal, stop loss 26 pips, you've got this almost 1-1 ratio. Now fractal up showed again, you buy here, stop loss 20 pips, bar 1-1 ratio again. You buy here, stop loss here, price went 40 pips, 1-2 ratio, and still going on. This will be for today, for example. Action, if you trade an intraday, you got a few positions there for today. If you watch, and not that I mean, you can trade even to 5 minutes time frame, to even scalping, but this is becoming more and more deeply, and you need to trade with a much lower risk than if you base with short term. So you need to trade to risk very low from your account if you want to trade at lower frames. And for example, if you go to 5 and see when we start the session, for example, look at the 5, look at the fractal on the 5. This will be some scalping here on the 5 minutes, 102.83 level. If the price go there, you might scalp some, but since it's a 5 p.m. almost, we are ready to close the London session. It's, now we're going to probably to some lower volatility barrier and so on. But the point, you understand the point. I mean, if you traded a 5, you enter here with the stop loss here. If you buy here with the stop loss, you can put here. It's aggressive, but here it's more safe. And yeah, you catch, but you buy exact 1 pip above. So there is no, you don't need to wait the candles to finish or whatever you got learning the past. So you just buy here, since you have the short picture or bullish, strong fundamental divergence between two currencies. You absolutely want to benefit from this, and you can benefit like this. Even if you want to lower frames like 5 minutes, you can have opportunities. If we back here, I didn't watch the 5 minutes, to be honest, since I don't watch too much 5s. Okay, 5 is really for some scalping. You have entry here, that worked. Entry here, this fractal broke out here, but 3 pips. Then probably you will stop out here because stop loss will be here. this was on the 5, then the fractal shove, so you will got one stop here, then bullish buying, fractal here, fractal, and this is a fractal here. This was a nice trade. If you hold, this was a very good winner. Then you have a fractal up here, again good winner, and again good winner, and again good winner, and potentially again good winner. So probably if you traded at 5 minutes, as I see here, you got the one loss, one stop loss, and about 4 or 5 winners. If you trade the intraday or scalping, or if you trade the lower frames. Now the fractal showed up on 5.15, so this may be another entry. 1 pip above. So what is that? Just tell me 83. So 84 area. 84. Yeah. So 84 level will be the level which will be the opportunity, but probably with the stop loss at this point here. If this is going to be like, we break this up, then the stop loss should be at this point for sure. It will be the 20 pip stop loss. So tell me right now. I want to ask you some questions. So basically, do you understand this principle? This principle is will be my main principle in my my mentorship program. Who wants to start? So tell me, do you understand the principle? Do you like principle? Do you have any comments? Basically, I can turn your microphone. So please let me know. Please let me know if you have the microphone. I will just turn on. Okay, turn on your microphone, and you will basically, and you will you can say anything. Do you like this webinar? Do you like the way what you think about this? And please just let me know. Write in the chat if you have microphone and if you want to anything you want to comment. It will be really, really helpful if you can do this one. So tell me, do you understand, and did you understand the things I'm speaking here? Yeah, and they tell me, do you have a microphone or something like that? Since this is a live webinar, if you can comment via microphone, it would be nice. I will just turn you in, so don't hesitate. So you have no microphone. Okay. So yeah, this basically tactic is what's the point? What's the purpose of this? Is that you understand that it's not about any big technical strategy or something like that. Absolutely the simplest way of trade you can do. But what is the key part is the fundamental divergence you found, and we found on this particular currency pair, and the fundamental conditions are very good to buy this currency pair. Once you have this, you absolutely did very, very big part of the job, because now what you need to do is to go to that currency pair where you saw the divergence between two central banks. And now once you saw this divergence, you try to position yourself in that on favor you found, right? So it's not actually the technical part. It's the easiest part, by the way. So people think you need to have plenty of knowledge and like to understand everything, every price section, to know every bar pattern, to know everything, everything. But guys, it's nothing special about the technical analysis here. As I said, this is a very simple method back in 100 years ago. Fractals are pretty much basic things. that Bill Williams spoke about, and Bill Williams is very, very good educator as well. You can read his books, his videos, and his education about the fractals if you want more about the fractals. But the point is here is not about the technical view. Okay, the point is, if you check the technical view, this is the only breakout of the high, which is basically the fractal, because of the 5 bars confirm this, and nothing more than buying one tick above the fractal. Okay, there is nothing big here. Yeah, you can place Fibonacci retracement, you can add volume, which I got, but that's not key. Okay, that's not key at all. The key why I entered is basically breakout of the high, breakout of the fractal. That's it. That's it. That's technical view. There is nothing big there. The technical view is only to trigger setup, try to find the potential targets for your entry. It doesn't matter if it's short term, long term, or intraday entry. And of course, trying to find the best spot to secure your position. Fundamental is the key. Fundamental is the key. Without fundamentals, I will not open the chart. Okay, if I don't see the good divergence between the two central banks. Okay, I got the question. Very nice. Again, I like the conversation. It's not like that I'm alone. The question is, I'm new to this thing. Can you let me know how can I set whether the graph will go down or up based on fractals? Again, the fractal is pretty much basic indicator, and you can find into your navigator. You go, I think it's Bill Williams spoke a lot of fractals, and you have Bill Williams here. You click plus, and the fractal is here. You can change the color of the fractal if you want. You can put whatever color. I like the aqua color, but it doesn't matter the color of fractal. You just click OK, and the fractals will show up on your chart. So again, it's a pretty basic indicator. So you go to Bill Williams, again, navigator, Bill Williams, and then go fractals. Just drag to the chart, click OK, and you will have fractals. Now, what's the fractal? Because I think you're new here, you joined recently. Fractal is nothing more than 5-bar structure where the up factor needs to have the highest high from the 5 bars, and the down fractal needs to have the lowest low from the 5 bars. 2 from left, 2 from right. That's create a fractal. Okay? So, for example, we got this for example, let's say this fractal here. This fractal got the lowest low between 2 from the left side, 2 from the right side. Its lowest low point. It's called the down fractal. This bar got both things together. Why? Because this bar got the highest high, but it's also got the lowest low, comparing to previous 2 bars from left side and the next 2 bars from the right side, which are these 2 ones. Okay, I can spotlight these ones here. Okay, this is from 2 bars from the right side, 2 bars from the left side. Fractal got up and down. Fundamental view was very strong for the Japanese yen at that point, July 21st July, and you only watch basically for potential breakout of the lower fractal because the fundamental views suggesting that you should focus much more on the downside at this moment here. You saw the breakout of fractal, stop loss, aggressive, if you want aggressive stop loss above this swing high on the daily, or up all the way above where is this swing high, highest high. Now the next fractal showed up. Why this is a down fractal? Because it's lowest low point and got the 2 bars from the right side, higher lows, and the 2 bars from the left side. Okay, so this is a down fractal. For example, why this is not up fractal? This is a question for you. Why this bar here, it's not an up fractal? Do you have any idea? Again, fractals needs to have the 5 bars where that bar in the middle should be should have the lowest low or highest high, comparing with bars from the left, 2 bars from the left side and 2 bars from the right side of that bar. Can you have any idea, guys, why this is not an up fractal, this bar here? Okay, can anyone say why we don't have, why it's not showed like up fractal? Tell me if you know why it's like this. Anyone of you? Okay, I see there. Okay. Basically, this bar is not show the up fractal because this if you go left, okay, this is fine. Got the lower swing high. This bar for itself got lower swing high compared to this one. But look at this bar, higher swing high. Okay, so this higher swing high actually confirmed this cannot be a fractal up because this needs to be the highest high comparing to the 2 bars on the left side and 2 bars on the right side. Got it? Okay. So fractals needs to have the 5 bars, where middle one got the highest high, or that's for up fractal, or down fractal, the lowest low. The bar can have also fractal up and down if the bar got highest high and the lowest low at the same time at the same bar, which is this one. It's a rare example, but it's happened. Okay, you got that? Okay, now tell me, do you have any question about the subject I spoke about? Do you have any questions about this subject today? In the future, I will hold a webinar for the Insta Forex, and you can follow my work. It will be an amazing room. It's also free, so free to join. I share my success and my basically strategy to everyone. Yeah, while we're speaking, the fractal is probably going to go upward for some scalpers or intraday traders. This may be a opportunity for them. While speaking, yeah, I will hold the webinars. I think we will start this project in InstaForex. We'll start this project in about month or month and a half, and everyone can join absolutely free. The room seats will be limited to 100 attendees, and absolutely it will be the full room. So a lot of traders will join, and I will speak a lot of different subjects. I will speak about that fundamental aspect, this, and my principle here about the fractals and about the volume as well. So very will be very good. I mean, you don't want to miss this one. It's all free. You pay nothing to get this knowledge, and you pay nothing to listen. Presenters, I will be again one of them. So yeah, it will be very nice. One thing here I wanted to share with you, it's that you can follow me on my journal on the Forex Factory and follow my work. And if you have any questions, or I'll just paste you that thread. Sorry, I got the question. I didn't saw. Can't see which bar you're showing. That was the question. Didn't read this question. Yeah. I saw this bar. If you think about this one, right? My question was why this bar. Why we didn't have the fractal on this bar. Why we didn't have the up fractal on this bar? That was the question on this particular bar, and the answer again is because this bar got the higher high than this. So So this middle cannot be a fractal. Right now, basically, this is a set probably going to, if the price go to 84, one tick above, this will be the sum. This will be some setup, but this is again for the traders who want to scalp or going for some pips. Try to catch 20, 30 pips. This will be 84, will be 102.84. Is basically the fractal of 5 and 15 as well. With if the price go there, the stop loss should be, if you're intraday trader, it should be where is this down fractal and this swing low here. And yeah, the risks should be about 24 pips. And yeah, you can try to catch 1112 or whatever price if we go to 1284. Again, it's 5 p.m. I will not be so much right now in the market, but again, the fractals are showing there, and that will be potential entry. So far, my short-term position based on the 4-hour fractals and based on the short-term perspective is showing the very good result, and I'm in plus like 52 pips into my added position, and I'm in plus like 45 on the second transaction. So very, very strong, and seems like this is doing very good job. So tell me if you have any questions. Any questions about particular, this subject? Because if you don't have, I will just exit this. This is recorded, by the way. This webinar you can watch again, and you can watch. You can share this. And by the way, I will just post you the link where it will be posted. This is on my YouTube channel, and I will post you my YouTube channel link, and I will put this to upload once I finish this webinar, so everyone can join. Don't forget, if you want professional trading to start, feel free to start my mentorship program, and you can add me on the Skype. This is my username. If you want to add me, you can add me on the Skype. If you want to start potential cooperation, which is my advice for you, if you want really professional in this business. And I will also post you my YouTube channel is this one. Okay, so this is my YouTube channel. So I sent you the links. You can add me on the Skype when I finish this webinar. If you want, you can contact me there, ask questions. We can start potential cooperation. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this webinar. By the way, this is a part of my mentorship program. Yeah, as you see, the price is progressing higher as long as we speak about that. The entry was 84, so depending order 84, who trading the lower was 84. So this was the entry level, 84 with the stop loss here. Stop loss is here, basically below, one tick below this. So yeah, price may go to another 20, 30, 40 pips if there is enough demand. Seems like there is a demand, and if you enter an 84, you're already in plus like 4 or 5 pips. Okay, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Follow my work on YouTube channel. Follow me on the Forex Factory Thread. I sent you the link, and add me on the Skype if you want any kind of cooperation. Bye, pal, and see you around.